It's nothing like proving yourself right. When you start proving yourself right, baby, can't nobody tell you nothing. You're going to love you like Kanye loved Kanye. Okay? You got to get off the bleachers. You got to get off the bench. You got to get in the game. Get in the game. And what does that mean? Show up. Stop watching everybody else win and start experimenting with what you are capable of doing. I don't know about you, but anytime I've ever manifested something that I really wanted, if I'm honest, I had an uncompromising will. Let's talk about it. Having an uncompromising will means that you basically burn all bridges of retreat, as Napoleon Hill teaches in his infamous Think and Grow Rich book, which is a classic for so many people who are in entrepreneurship and business and just personal development in general. So many people have credited that book for changing their lives. And I know that it absolutely changed the life of my mother, who introduced me to the book when I was just 12 years old. But I remember picking that book up and reading the words and how they resonated with me, even though I hadn't had a whole lot of experience in life yet. But it was just something about it that just rang true. And I never really let go of that notion that if I really want something, the goal is to only have a plan A. So many people talk about having a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, but to me, that is equivalent to straddling the fence. I feel like people only have a plan B, C, E, D, F, G, so on and so forth, because they really truly don't believe. They don't believe that what their plan A is actually possible. Or they doubt that it's 100% going to happen. Why? Because they are leaning only on their five senses, and they are not allowing themselves to stretch their imagination and leave room for possibility. They leave a little room for possibility, but they also leave some room for doubt. And that is the error. That's where you mess up. I truly, truly believe that anything that I've accomplished that I'm remotely proud of, I burned all bridges of retreat. I had an uncompromising will. That means that even when people tried to talk to me about it and tried to tell me the things that I need to look out for, or why I should doubt that I could have it, or why it's probably not the best option, listen, if something in me still told me that this is what I wanted, then all those voices became null and void. Control, Alt, delete. And this is just the way you have to be. And I was watching some testimonials on YouTube, stories of transformation from Dr. Joe Dispenza's community. And one of the women who basically was diagnosed with MS, she said that her doctors told her that she had MS. And she said she looked at the doctor and told him, "You can't tell me what I have. I don't have that, not in my world. I just have symptoms." This is where we are in 2025. People are waking up to the fact that we have to be our own best advocates. We cannot wait for the government, our medical field. We cannot wait for anybody to save us. And we have to decide what it is going to be, because the placebo effect is real. What you believe is absolutely going to be true for you. And that includes in cases as it relates to your health. This woman said, "I don't have MS. You can't tell me what I have. And not in my world. All I have are symptoms that you're diagnosing. And that's all you're going to treat are my symptoms." And so she basically decided that she was going to overcome her symptoms, which would have been labeled MS by the medical field, just based on research and science. Sidebar, outdated research and science, because so much more has come out. That's why I rock with Dr. Joe Dispenza. But from her firm decision that she was not going to live with those symptoms for the long haul, not on her watch, as she said, based on that decision, she stood firm. And she had what I'm now recognizing was an uncompromising will. So much so that she literally designed her life in a way that she would not allow people, even those that were close to her that she loved, to be in her presence if they spoke negatively about her condition. She was having nerve issues in her arm, and the therapist said to her, "We need to exercise that bad arm." And she said, nothing on my body is bad. You cannot be a part of my team. You must leave. She fired the freaking physical therapist because of her language. Because she said she could not afford to slip into doubt at any point in time because of her decision to heal from her symptoms. She said she got rid of her doctor, one of the doctors that was pushing up against her, and found another doctor that was with her program. She said that even her husband, when he was watching television programs, if the messaging wasn't positive, she asked him to either turn it down or he went upstairs and watched TV, because she didn't want the frequency, the vibration of the attentions of the people who were speaking negativity to seep into her psyche and influence the environment that she was creating for herself. As it relates to relatives, she was like, I love my family members, but I don't need their fear. And I don't need their doubt around me while I'm going through this process. So she kept them at a distance while she worked through her own stuff and while she kept her faith strong. She was actually not able to walk because they did a surgery that paralyzed her when she actually should not have had that surgery. It was for preventative measures, but it ended up paralyzing her. And that's why she ended up in this situation where she needed to heal from her symptoms. But when she was telling her story, she was walking, something that she was not supposed to be doing ever again because of what had happened to her and what her symptoms had been. And she was talking like normal and her limbs were functioning properly. And she said it's because she had an uncompromising will. She was not willing to settle for anybody else's story of who she was going to be in life, including her doctors giving her a prognosis of something that they said was incurable and that most people live with for the rest of their lives. And listen, this is not a knock against the medical field. There are stats and statistics that back up everything that they're saying. But there are also new stats and statistics that honor the placebo effect and show that whatever you believe is likely more powerful than any stat and statistic or any research that was done in the past. We gotta open our eyes and ears to this stuff, man. So many of us are living as a fraction of ourselves because we had no clue that we were conditioned to be who we show up as. And once you realize that and you recognize that it no longer fits you and you'd rather be true to who you really are, you start to peel back those layers. And a lot of those beliefs fall by the wayside because they're not rooted in your truth. They're rooted in the world's truths. And so you got to make a decision like this brave woman did, and like so many of us are doing, to become supernatural, to tap into our innate abilities and do what we are capable of doing while we are in this 3D reality. Changing our personality, changing those beliefs that govern how we show up, that govern our actions and our behaviors and our emotions and our thoughts. That is our personality. And your personality essentially creates your personal reality. So this woman, although it's becoming supernatural, this woman is doing something that is actually very natural to all of us, but we didn't know. So shout out to Dr. Joe for giving us a cool framework to work with. None of it is new information. It's just applied and demonstrated and put into a model that's easy to do. You just got to do it. And you got to repeat. And you got to overcome yourself. And you got to be uncompromisable in terms of your will. You got to make a decision and stand on business. For real, for real. This woman healed every symptom that they would have labeled MS. Her doctors are scratching their heads. Listen, we can all do this. We all have access to this. And you won't know if you just stand on the sidelines and watch everybody else get better. You only know when you tag, put me in the game, coach. You got to get off the bleachers. You got to get off the bench. You got to get in the game. Get in the game. And what does that mean? Show up. I keep talking about developing the practice. Develop your practice. Start today. Start now. Now is the most potent and powerful time to do anything, because it's the most powerful state that you'll ever be in is the state that you are in right now in this moment. So tap in, get in the game, coach. Stop watching everybody else win and start experimenting with possibilities. Start experimenting with what you are capable of doing. And that way you will prove to yourself what you are actually capable of. And you won't need to be validated by the world because you will be validated. It's nothing like proving yourself right. Nothing like it. When you start proving yourself right, baby, can't nobody tell you nothing. You're going to love you like Kanye loved Kanye. Okay? I don't know who needed to hear this, but this is your reminder, and you got this.